like to welcome everybody to this year's Village of Mamaroneck Firemen's Parade. And let's make sure we hear it. We got to hear a lot of noise from the crowd. Keep it amped up.
Good evening, everyone, to the 77th Annual Village of Mamaroneck Parade. What has become a tradition here on the Sound Shore continues again this year. My name is Michael Copey. I am a former chief here of the Village Fire Department, and I will be announcer for you tonight to guide you through the parade. As we move through right now, we have the Village Police Motorcycle Unit, which is joined by motorcycle departments from across the county that come up here tonight. Nice to have some of the children here jumping up to the motorcycle officer.
And here we go after the little photo shoot. We got the lead band. We have the lead band. It's going off. Danbury Drum Corps. Let's give it up for the Danbury Drum Corps. Every time I talk in it.
John agreed to take a few minutes and talk to us about the planning that it takes.
And here we have the MFD Color Guard, firefighter Vinny Keck, ex-captain Billy Snyder, firefighter Dylan Felice, firefighter Michael Silverberg.
The letters go out for invitations the second week in January. And from there, we have to keep following up with the departments to see that they either are coming or not coming, what information they can give us as far as what apparatus they're going to bring, how many men they might be bringing, or firefighters in general.
And the coordination that it takes with the village officials, the different government entities.
It takes a lot of cooperation and coordination with the village. They've been so good through the years, helping us out. The Parks Department and Highway Department are very instrumental in helping us put this on every year.
And we have Chief Tom Simpson coming through. Chief Simpson is a longtime member of Volunteers Engine and Hose Company number 3, just recently sworn as chief. Chief, how you doing? Looking good? Assistant Chief Tim Caparelli is what we call the baby chief. Unfortunately, our first assistant chief, Mike Yanuzzi, has to work tonight. He is a career firefighter in the city of New Rochelle. But John, real quick, I know you have a lot going on tonight. Just tell me, when was the first time you came to the Mamaroneck Parade? How old were you?
I was probably 3 years old, back in well, I won't tell you, but it was a long time ago.
Right. Not that long. So, but it's something here in Mamaroneck that everybody remembers. I remember coming here, similar age. I'm 61 years in the village. John is longer. It's really a tradition here, and this is a tradition that continues because of the hard work of the parade committee.
Yeah, and everybody here is a volunteer in the department, which is entirely volunteer. They give up a lot of time. And we have a big group that works to put this on. We have members of the department that they start out as...
And it starts for many of the firemen as the post department here. And the post is comprised of high school age children who from both high schools that participate with the fire department, and they learn what it takes to be a firefighter. And many of our post members not only come into the department, but then ultimately migrate to become career firefighters, which hopefully if they stay, returns back for us.
You got a couple of guys that have helped out here for years as they're going by, a couple of 50-year members also have served as chiefs of the department.
Okay, Chief, I know you have a lot to do tonight, and I appreciate you sitting with me. Everything else good?
Everything is great. We got a perfect night, not too hot, not too cold.
You don't like that 100-degree weather, huh?
No, it's a little too much.
Not good for the firefighters marching, but
Thank
okay,
you, Chief.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chief
And thank
Barney.
LMC for all they do for us.
LMC, big supporters, always here with us. So as we have the car collection coming through now.
What beautiful vets. Absolutely gorgeous. I'd like everybody to know that tonight is our 77th annual Firemen's Parade. 77. And coming up here, we got the Village of Mamaroneck officials and visiting officials from around the county. Everybody give a hand to the Mayor Sharon Torres, Deputy Mayor Trustee Nora Lucas, Trustee Mary DeRosa, Trustee Daniel Kushnick, Trustee Alan Silver, Village Manager Kathleen Gill, Assistant Village Manager Dennis Del Borgo, Police Chief PJ Trulio, Village Justice Christine Derrico, and Village Justice Daniel Gallagher. Sorry, we're having a little mic check here. Supervisor from the town of Mamaroneck, Jane Elklin Ennie. Council members, Anita Mambor, Sabrina Fiddleman, Jeffrey King, Robbie Nicosia. Oh, and there's George Latimer. George, this is a very long list I'm trying to read over here. And then we got the county executive, Ken Jenkins. I saw you, and I'm trying to get to you. You guys ran by me. Thank you, everybody. State Senator, oh, Shelley Mayer, too. Assemblyman, I know Steve. There he is, Steve Otis. And then county legislator, Kathleen Parker. Reverend Marvin Hank, are you over there, too? And that color guard that just went by is Sleepy Hollow. Oh, they're not on here. And we got the American Legion, Post 90. I'm reading the list. This is the worst way. I'm trying to read and look. Largemont Historical Society. There we go. American Legion Post 347. All right, Danny. And this is the Largemont Historical Society with the 1922 American LaFrance, 1910 brush car, 1891 chemical cart. Wow, look at this 1932 Maxim antique from Colchester, Connecticut. I'd like to welcome the Grand Marshal and the 50-year member back to the reviewing stand here. And coming up now, we got Mamaroneck EMS. Look at that group. Thanks for saving lives out there. Wow, look at that beautiful
To the ambulance
UTV.
corps.
I won't
Now
talk
they're
about
located on the Barry Avenue extension right there at Mamaroneck Avenue. I remember when that building went up. I believe, with the collection of the stamps. I can't remember the stamps. I used to collect them. Some of the longtime Mamaroneck residents remember when the stamp books would come around, and John Quadrini, who was a longtime member also of the fire department, John collected the stamps and helped contribute to purchasing the ambulance and getting the funding for the equipment. Thank you, Hap. How you doing?
Anything else you need?
You want to sit down with me for a minute?
No, not really.
Hap Hughes, another long time. Come on, Hap, say hello. Pull a chair up.
Beautiful looking rig there, Ben.
Fortunate to have Hap Hughes here, and Hap works closely on this with John Barney. Hap's a longtime member of Columbia Engine Company on Barry Avenue. Hap, how long you been in the department?
50 years.
5-0. In September this year or October?
October.
October. And what year were you chief?
95, 96.
95, 96. So tell me, when was the first time you came to the Mamaroneck Parade?
Probably when I was maybe 5, 6.
Right. And how many parades have you been since then? Almost all
Every
of them?
single one.
That's right. And so, but it is one of your earliest memories of the fire
Oh,
department,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yep.
And you have a long lineage, family history in the fire department. Tell me, who else you have in the department?
The year that I came in, my father was chief back in '75.
And when did he first get in the department?
I think he got in '69. I think.
69. That's a long time.
Yeah. Yes.
50 years of service between your father, right? And who else you have in the department?
I got my son who's a member of Columbia, and he's got 20 plus years.
One of our more active members too. And
Yeah.
We're fortunate for that. In this day and age, to get people to come out to the fires 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, holidays, very, very difficult. We're fortunate to have young men such as him.
My father-in-law was chief in Larchmont.
And he was many years ago. Right?
Yeah.
A long history. So tell me, what does it take? What do you do all year to make this happen?
I will start tomorrow doing some planning for next year.
But what's the goal? What is the goal of the fire department here with the parade?
Just to keep everybody happy. There was a really nice crowd out here tonight.
Okay. Well, Hap, I appreciate you stopping by with me.
And I thank you for your help.
No problem, Hap. Thank you for your service. Again, thanks, Hap. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Ken, come on in.
Okay. Good.
Ken, come on in. Sit down.
Yes, sir.
We're fortunate to have
Looking good there,
Ken Jenkins, the
Cigallo.
county executive, longtime family friend.
Yes, sir.
Ken, I appreciate your support, not just in Mamaroneck, but countywide. The support that you have for not the volunteer fire service, but public safety in general. Career volunteer police. You know, I've seen it here in the fire department. I've seen it in my career with the police department. So tell me, how's everything going at the county level?
You know, everything is going great. It's always great to be out here at the annual firefighters parade here in the village of Mamaroneck, where we have everyone coming around throughout the county, and certainly for them to continue to do the carnival going right into July 5th. We want to make sure everyone comes out and has an enjoyable time. For us, we're working so hard, and I really appreciate you, Commissioner Copey, family members for so long that we've been able to work together. But the things we're going to continue to do for everyone, for all of our volunteer and career firefighters, EMS workers throughout the county, and certainly all the fire departments throughout the county, we got to keep working together to do this.
And we know that there are good things up at the County Fire Training Center, the improvements that are there. We see the things that are being budgeted with the hazmat unit. The hazmat unit is a tremendous resource for us here in the village because we just can't do it. And even the career department is very, very difficult to fund that, but we see this, it's going in there. Do you have any other improvements that are coming in at the county?
We're going to continue to make those investments. Commissioner Susan Spear, the great team that we have up in our emergency services division, so specifically our fire division, and we're going to keep working that together. Yet we have some investments that are happening to continue to make improvements in the fire tower, in the burn tower, and continue to do that. People don't realize how many people come through. All the training happens there, and then people come out to their local departments to do what they need to do. And we have continuing investments in training and for career opportunities for those volunteer firefighters to make sure that we're doing college courses and doing out of the HEROES Act, right? So we're going to keep doing that work. So again, whether it's investment in that, working with all the municipalities, we have some great new things coming with battery storage, right? And battery fires, and trying to help make sure that we have regional support, as you were talking, like with hazmat, and continuing to make sure that regional work happens.
Yeah, these are the things that at the local level, it's very, very difficult, not only to maintain the level of proficiency, but also to obtain the equipment. You know, the tax dollars that go into this, it gets very, very expensive.
Yes.
So, you know, the fact that we have this coming from the county level is a good thing. So, you're heading down to the carnival to have a...
we're going to go down to the carnival, and we're going to have a great time at the carnival. We really appreciate the opportunity, Commissioner, to be able to speak with you here, right? And everywhere that you work, because you got your other hats on. You know something, what I found out for all of our emergency services individuals, whether in fire, EMS, they are doing so many different things. So they're on one side taking care of business in the city of Rye, and then down here, and a commissioner down here in volunteering for our village of Mamaroneck. We got to keep doing this work. It's a great family, and we're glad to be here.
Well, thanks, Ken. I'll let you go. I know you got a busy night, but I can't leave without one thing. My mother's going to say, Michael, tell Kenny I said hello.
You know something? And I tell everyone all the time, people may not know this, that Bobby Copey, that was my first real boss in New York Telephone. So I just dated myself for everyone. Yeah. But your mom is awesome. And your sister was down the hallway from me in Yonkers. Oh my gosh, when she got married and all those kind of things. So,
that's a long time.
So it's a long time ago, brother.
Have a good time.
You too, right?
Thanks,
Stay safe, brother.
I appreciate it. New York Station Sanitation. Can I get Shelly for a sec, too? Yeah. Come on, Shelly. You gotta sit down. You can stay a sec. I got him all night. Shelly Mayer, good friend of the fire service, our senator here from the South Shore. How's everything going?
Good. We're talking about how we finally got two important EMS bills passed after 4 years. Just a foot in the door, Steve and I. Yeah. And we're really here to support our EMS, all our first responders. We're here to support all our first responders and our EMS. I'm going to get yelled at if
you don't talk into the mic.
I am talking into the mic. So, nice to see you.
Good seeing you. How was everything in Albany? Are you done now for this
We're
season?
done unless we have to go back as a result of federal cuts. Okay. So we may have to go back. But for now, we're done. Staying home, helping people at home, and working hard.
Any plans for the summer?
I am going to our cottage in Ontario with all my grandchildren. Yeah. I'm going to try to fish, drink beer, have fun.
Well, good. Well, have a good time up there,
Thank you. Pleasure to see you.
Appreciate it.
You.
Right, good
Wonderful
seeing you.
See you.
Right, thank you very much. Now I got Steve Otis. Just one moment, Steve. So we got town of Mamaroneck coming through, our close neighbor. So, Steve, long time no see. How's everything?
Kofi, good to see you.
I appreciate you.
This is just such a great annual event. I've been coming to this for years. You longer, your whole life, right?
My whole life. We were just talking to some of the chiefs. This is one of my first real memories coming to the parade. And I grew up on Wagner Avenue, and Wagner Avenue was the route, it still is, for Halsted Manor to respond to this side of town. And so I can remember getting up and going to the window just to see the fire truck come by. And of course, when the parade was happening, I had to come down. So many, many years.
It's a great Mamaroneck and a great Westchester tradition. This parade is one of the highlights of the year. And to see all the other departments and all the other equipment, and people are having a good time, and people are celebrating the importance of fire service.
Yeah. Well, it's appreciated, and there's a lot of support for fire service as well as the volunteers. And we talk about this every year, but every year it becomes more and more difficult to attract and recruit volunteers. There's a significant amount of training. I think this year the training level has gone up to 360 hours. And if somebody wants to volunteer, now I don't want to scare anybody. If you want to volunteer, just stop by any volunteer firehouse. We pay for all of your training, and we provide you a lot of time to get that done. But it is a commitment. Once that commitment's done, it becomes a little bit easier. But we have monthly drills, so it is a lot. But we work with the members to do it. Town of Mamaroneck coming through. One of our closest mutual aid companies, the town of Mamaroneck and the village of Mamaroneck, have been operating together for many, many years. So tell me, how was your year in Albany?
Well, one of the biggest issues, which is related to what we're doing here today, is Shelley, who was just here, and I are sort of have the biggest EMS reform bill.
Yeah.
And we got some forward progress. We got a bill passed.
Give it up for the show.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
They got loud horns.
We won't forget that when we're up to their parade. So no, I think the EMS, we're fortunate here in the village of Mamaroneck. It's unsure that we have an established service with people. It's difficult again to get volunteers, and the ambulance service is struggling, probably nationwide, but we're lucky here that I think we're about as well off as you can be.
Well, it's established and also is municipal, which helps.
Yeah.
But it's done all over the state in such a variety of ways, and we're trying to reinforce that and let people choose how they want to do it. So,
well, it wasn't a required service.
I know. Well, we're trying to change that.
Yeah, and there are communities in the state not too far from here that don't have dedicated ambulance service, so they have to contract out with another municipality or pay for it, and it creates long wait times.
So the bill that we passed is to have every county work with their villages, cities, and towns to come up with a plan on how to improve things where they are.
Hold on, let me just see my friends from Portchester. Portchester Fire Department, always looking sharp. What's up, men? Looking good. You're gonna get a trophy tonight. So, Portchester, one of the larger volunteer departments in Westchester. They're fortunate. Still a pretty good crew. So, what's on plans for summer this summer? What do you got going on?
I have work, a little rest, mostly work. I do a lot of speaking at a few conferences on digital inclusion with STEM Alliance, here in Mamaroneck. I'm speaking at a conference in August with them. Another conference here that Westchester County Association has going on in middle of July, and a lot of good stuff going on. So keep busy. We're really going to be working on EMS during the summer. We want to get the bill signed. We want to help communities around the state figure out what they need to improve their services, how they want to structure it.
And what are the key components of the bill?
The bill is really to say every county sits down with their villages, cities, and towns and does an evaluation of what works, what doesn't work, where they have gaps, and to come up with a plan of how they want to fix the areas that need to be improved.
Yeah.
That's basically the premise, and everyone at the table and try and get a path forward, which we really need.
Yeah, you need a path forward. You're seeing that to an extent with the fire service. There are a lot of groupings with the communities, especially on the South Shore, where there's dual aid, where certain calls, whether it's for a school or a nursing home, that we're getting multiple departments to go.
Yeah.
I know we're doing that in Rye, Mamaroneck, Rye Brook, that we're doing things like that so that everybody is, chipping in for those high occupancies, those more crucial buildings. And I think that trend's going to continue, and I believe it's going to carry over with the ambulance service.
Yeah.
That there's going to be more working together.
Yeah, we need to do stuff that helps people, same with fire, attract and retain people to perform these roles, because the staffing is a problem as well. So, but we'll stay at it.
Yeah.
And it is always nice to see Mike Copey.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Steve. I don't know if you're going to stick around for a little bit more. You got
I can stay.
Just stay right there. Let me just turn around and see. Engine 6.2 and Portchester Rescue 40.
Portchester brought many vehicles.
They did, and they have a lot of vehicles. I believe they have 7 or 8 firehouses. But Portchester is one of the few communities in Westchester, volunteer, that's able to staff 2 rescue companies. They have that many volunteers coming in, and their rescue company is very well staffed. I know that they go mutual aid to a number of fires. William Strong. So what else for the summer? No vacation plans?
We have a 1-year-old black lab, so we'll continue to train him.
Good luck. It'll take about 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah, we're
They're just going to start with the chewing stage
he's
right
actually,
now.
He's actually very good, so.
Here's ladder 31.
Here comes the other Portchester rescue truck. So Portchester Ladder Company coming here. This is not to Hell in a Bucket, which was something they bring down, which was named because the Grateful Dead played so many times at the Capitol Theater. And so if you look at the Portchester...
Well, for this truck, they're right next door, so...
They have the Grateful Dead insignia right on there.
Are you, Mike Cooper, are you a Deadhead?
I am. I've started to pick up listening to the Dead over the last 5 years.
Do you spin?
No. No, I do listen to the Dead every now and then. I enjoy that. Eastchester Volunteers, they have a volunteer and a career staff. So how about the weather, Steve? Pretty hot the last couple days, huh?
This is perfect weather tonight, but I'm unhappy if it's over 65 degrees. So I like my winter's my favorite season.
Yeah, no, I've changed. I be honest with you, the 100 degrees was hot, but I'm a little more comfortable when it's hot. I don't want to see snow anymore. I don't want to see snow on TV. I don't want to be cold. I prefer if it was June, July, August, and then repeat June, July, I would be happy with that. So
I'm a hockey player, so I like cold weather.
You do. Hold on, what do we have here? Eastchester Fire Department here. Harrison Fire Department Chief Nardozzi, been in the fire service many years. No bill, was up at 60 Control for a while. Led by the MPA PD Pipe and Drum Corps. See what they have here. County police helicopter just comes overhead. You know, it's a new addition to the parade. we're fortunate to have that resource here in the county. You know, there are many times I can tell you from my career where we need helicopter services here that they come, they can illuminate a scene, they bring the imaging system so that, you know, you can pick people up based on the thermal heat generated from their body. And so it is a very, very valuable resource for the local communities. And I would have told Ken was here before, you know, we're hoping that they continue funding for that for us. And they're used for fire scenes too. They have the Bambi bucket, which is a bucket that when we have a brush fire, they can get to a body of water, they drop in, they can pick up 500 gallons of water and take it to remote areas. So that is a very critical resource.
Especially in this day and age where we're seeing more of these wildfires.
You are seeing it, and you know, we have that resource and we can get them there very, very quickly. It helps prevent a fire from getting to be out of control. Just so in California how things can happen. You don't think it can happen here, but we have a very populated area in the southern part of the county, but we do have some dense pockets of woodlands, marshlands, the marshlands and rye, and so it is good to have these resources that are available to the fire service.
First up here, we got a 2024 Pierce, engine 13.
I don't know what the holdup was. Billy, how you been? So no, that is a critical resource, and you know, I know in my community we just purchased a mule with a portable pump and brush fire gear, so that, you know, we have areas you can't get the engine in, and you can't stretch a hose line a quarter mile.
Yeah.
So you really have to take your equipment out there with you, and you know, we'll use it here, we'll use it in neighboring communities that call for it.
Very important. This year in our budget hearings, I actually raised the issue to some of the state agency folks about whether they had enough equipment to deal with the growing threat of these wildfires, with everything getting hotter and more. And they had one fatality this year upstate, very tragic. But part of it is equipment. You have to have the equipment. You have to be able to get the equipment to the scene.
Yeah. One of the things hopefully that'll move forward is, you know, with State Fire, great group. They're out there, and they're really, when I was with the state, the men and women of State Fire are tremendous. They're basically the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
They're useful for everything. What we'd like to see going forward is, you know, for brush fires, again, it's very difficult for each municipality to buy brush gear.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a different type turnout. Your turnout gear that you have on the fire truck, the firefighter wear in a burning building is different from what you're going to wear in a brush fire. It's much lighter, but again, how much of this equipment can every municipality buy? You know, hopefully in the future the state would create these crash trucks with this gear on it that can be brought directly to different parts of the state to then be distributed just in time as the fire is going on. That would be very, very helpful.
Here we got.
Speaking of State Fire, we have Kevin Delner, a longtime Mamaroneck resident. He's a member of my company. He's a former chief. I think he's 48 years in the department. He's with State Fire. He's in their inspection section. And we're lucky here in Mamaroneck Village. We have a number of career firefighters who receive the training, concentrating on the job, that they then come back to the village and they donate here in the village. And it's a tremendous win for the village. I'm a village resident. I'm a taxpayer to have that resource, you know, that they come in and they volunteer their time. How you doing? Pretty good. Looks sharp. Nice clean rig for the parade.
Harrison brought a lot of vehicles as well.
They did, and you can really see Harrison paid a lot of attention to the equipment. You know, part of the parade, I don't know at home can see, but you'll see the judges out there. They're judging every aspect of every piece of equipment, and the women and men who are marching, best uniform, most in line. Then they look at the apparatus, and they will be examining the apparatus to see which is the best apparatus. So, you know, before you go to a parade, the firefighters will take time. They'll have a night or two to clean the apparatus, wax the apparatus, and you'll see some of the judges will walk around, put their fingers underneath the wheel well.
Yeah.
Is there any dust? Is there any dirt? It's Harrison. Next up, we have the town of Bedford coming in.
Here we got leading up the second division.
Vinny Costa again. What's up, Chief? Gotta hold that salute. Hold that salute a little tighter. That's right. So Chief Costa, very, very, again, fortunate. Chief Costa, career firefighter in this city of New Rochelle. Goes to work every day, comes home, and brings that training and skill to bear here. He was a chief here in the community. He's an active driver. You know, when he's not working, he's driving the fire truck here. He's fighting fires here. You can see they try to march tight, stay in step. The judges will count that. They'll look, is everybody's brass polished? Is everybody in step?
So are judges in the grandstand?
Well, actually, we have judges here in front of the grandstand. There are people in the grandstand who will be, you know, counting the number of people in line. And then we also have judges on different parts of the parade route, so that you're not just being judged here. They'll be looking at different
No
parts.
slacking off.
Well, you know, for a number of the departments, this is competitive.
Yeah.
And they'll travel around to different parts of the state, and it breeds camaraderie in the fire service to go and who has the best. You know, we don't have it here, and it's not very prominent in this part of the state, but other parts of the state, they do the ladder, the hose stretch.
Oh, yeah.
There are competitions. In this part of the state, it's very, very active with the parades. There are different parades around the county, around the region, and they're judges. And tonight, before the carnival ends, the judges will report the results, and the firefighters will receive trophies down at the harbor. And the trophies are donated by merchants, by the companies. We take some of the profits from the carnival. We have to put it back in to support these things. So, you know, we have to provide food and drink for the firemen. So we have a bullpen down there. So if they come to the parade, we have a bullpen, what we call. They all go in there. And so, you know, it's just one of these things that the community's happy. You look up and down the street, the children, people.
Oh.
You know, we're coming here for many, many years. We want to keep this tradition going, and part of the way to do it is you have to have the firemen come in, and we have to help them come in. Bedford Hills. How you been? What's going on? Come see me. Recently retired member of the service who's now working for one of the fire supply distributors, and he supplies. You see Chief Castorella looking under Bedford Hills apparatus. Make sure. Brand new ladder there.
1983.
I don't know if this is still in service. It probably is not a first due apparatus, but it is very, very clean for 40 some odd years. Hey! Oh, you won't even look at me. Yeah, it could be. They may be using that for a brush truck or something. How far up does your district go to?
I have the Sound Shore. No. It's,
what is it, Rybrook?
I have, I represent Rybrook, Portchester, Rye, Mamaroneck, Larchmont, and the southern half of New Rochelle. So it's a nice coastal district and communities that all know each other.
Yeah.
You know,
and we all work together. And you know, the funny thing is that there are some parts of the state and really the country where the volunteers and the career service sometimes don't mesh as well. But in this part, there is a very good working relationship between the two. And a lot of this is because we have members that cross over from career to volunteer. And so, you know, in Rye, I have a career department that's supported by volunteers. In other places, you have volunteers that's supported by career. But everybody works together, and now we've started training together in a number of the communities. We have here.
I have every variety because I have combination departments, all volunteer, and New Rochelle's all professional.
Yeah. ladder 4-7, which I think they're saying is a quint. And just for those at home, you know, some of the apparatus you see through are pumpers, and they're strictly used to pump water to fire scene. Some are ladder trucks, and you'll see that it's with a large ladder on it. And then some are combination. It's a quint, and this happens to be a quint, where you can pump or you can use the ladder. And you know, people would say, well, why wouldn't everybody have a quint? Because it's just a different type tool, and it really depends on the department. You know, the quint generally can't hold as much water, and so if you pull up in front of your fire and you only have 250 gallons of water, that's not going to put out a lot of fire.
Well,
But
you
it
have
worked.
to know your community's needs. When you were chief in Mamaroneck, did you do major acquisitions of trucks when you were in the your years as chief and assistant chief?
We did, and it was actually the time that my company, Halston Manor, we purchased the Seagraves, and that was in 2003 that we purchased it. Now that's 22 years old, and we're in the process of getting ready to replace it. You know, these apparatus have to go 24/7 through air weather, and they have a lifespan. So, you know, we're in the process of looking for that right now. The Village of Mamaroneck has been very, very supportive for the entire time I've been here. And, you know, the one thing about having a volunteer fire service is there are no labor costs here.
Yeah.
And in the Village of Mamaroneck, what we're doing is we're providing fire service. I think right now it's Class 3, maybe Class 4, Class 3 fire service for 10% of what our neighboring community is doing. I think our budget is $800,000, $900,000 here. It is a fraction, a tenth of what the neighboring community is. So, but the community is very supportive, and they get us the apparatus that we need to make sure that the people are safe here. So I know that Columbia has spec'd out a new truck, and I believe that that's on the production line now, and that should hopefully be delivered in a year. You can't use these trucks forever. They
Well,
can't be
so-
first
so
due.
one thing that the people may not realize is that for any department buying a new truck, it's very individualized in terms of assessing the needs and how you're going to special order the vehicle to meet the needs of the community, and those needs may change over time. So the same truck that you're replacing, you're not necessarily going to buy exactly the same vehicle.
We just bought a truck in the city of Rye, and you know, I told the firefighters, don't think about it today. I want you to think about this 5, 10, and 20 years from now. It's very difficult. Where's the fire service going to be? But one of the things you're transitioning to everywhere is the use of, you know, gas-powered devices to battery-powered devices.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the big deal? You need to charge those batteries. So
Yeah.
the apparatus has to be able to charge that. You know, has to be able to support this. So there are changes, but the key to it is you can't just go buy one apparatus and say, here, use this.
Yeah.
It has to be unique to the village. Some communities have significant flooding, and you never know what's going to happen. That gear has to travel with you. Some communities are fortunate. They may not necessarily have that. They don't need that kind of equipment on the truck. So, you know, and the other real problem with the fire apparatus is right now, if we go to purchase a fire apparatus, almost every manufacturer is at least 3 years.
Absolutely.
From the minute we sign and say we need a fire truck, whatever it might be, it's 3 years. And some manufacturers are 4 years. And there's really nothing you do. You can't go to anywhere else. It's just what's happened. It's continuation of problems with, you know, the COVID problems, and then supply chain problems. We're hoping it's going to change, but right now, anybody's looking for an apparatus,
And
3 to 4
the
years.
manufacturers are limited, and they're serving departments all over the country. So
All over the country, and it's, you know, it's not like you just go to the grocery store and buy your groceries. It's there's a limited number of manufacturers, and they have orders from all over the country. So, you know.
So, you know, you were talking about this Village of Mamaroneck supporting the needs of the fire department. And I've told you this story, but, you know, I used to work for Susie Oppenheimer, and she told me the first rule of local government is if the fire department needs something, get it for them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and we appreciate Susie, a mayor here in the Village of Mamaroneck. I want to say in the 80s, right?
late 70s, early 80s.
Late 70s, early 80s. You know, and again, you know, all of our mayors have been supporters, and Susie, I think, led the charge, so she gets it. And it's not for the fire department. It's for the community, right? You live in a house, you have a house that you're insuring. you want to make sure the right equipment is there and that there's somebody there to help you out. And we really are just the custodians of the equipment to make sure it's always available and it's staffed. But this is equipment that's for the community. And Mamaroneck has a long history of supporting the volunteer fire department, and we expect that that's going to continue, both with the purchase apparatus as well as the carnival, right? Tonight there'll be a couple thousand people down there, and that's a good thing, and everybody enjoys it. So we see I have Levittown here. Getting a good once-over. We had Chief Castorella, Chief Simonowski.
Let's give it up for the Westchester County firefighters.
Tell me 1 second. What are you looking at? What are you evaluating tonight? This is
Personnel.
Chief Simonowski, former chief from Mamaroneck. Chief, you're counting personnel?
Personnel, ladies auxiliary, and post 444. No, post, not.
And are we looking at uniforms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regulation, non-regulation.
Keep those hidden. We don't want anybody to see what it is. Just one more thing before you leave. Did you lose your razor?
No.
Okay, maybe invite it. All right, Chief Simonowski there with us tonight. Gives you an indication. And the fire department has about 15 or 20 judges here, mostly our members, but we have Chief Stone is a former career chief in Urshel. He assists. We have other members from out the region who will come and help us judge. Fast here. Ardsley, Chief Joan Podolsky.
Here we have Ardsley Seagrave Pumper, 2024. Engine 165.
And here's a new pumper that's just coming off the line. And so, we're talking about purchasing things. I'm sure people say, well, what does that cost? That pumper there, Seagrave,
Next up,
But it's
Arma
million two,
Fire
million one.
Led by
This
Chief
is what it
Brian
cost, right? And
but it's over how many decades?
it's 20 years, and when you break
Minimum,
it down,
yeah.
right? Minimum 20
Minimum.
years. And you can't keep them forever, but we don't keep them for 10 years. And again, the volunteers do a lot of the maintenance in-house. They check the apparatus. They make sure the lights are in condition. Once a week in my company, there's a crew that will come up, check the oil, take it for a test drive, make sure everything is good working condition, write a report up. If it needs to be fixed, we send the report to the village mechanics, and the mechanics will come up and fix it. Some of the minor stuff we'll do ourselves in-house.
Engine 287. Seagrave Pumper.
Seagrave pumper, and if you can see, height 9 foot 8 inches. One of the big problems we have in communities, these bridges were put in when horses were running around here pulling apparatus. And so when we buy an apparatus, again, we can't just get a cookie cutter. Your apparatus has to be able to get under the bridge.
Well, also it has to fit in the firehouse
Has to
too,
fit in the
which has been an issue in a number of communities where they've had to retrofit the doors and for the new equipment.
Right.
We got Banksville.
My firehouse has a limited opening there, so it's always been a problem. And what we deal with Mamaroneck is the bridges. Right now, it's one thing the under, but unfortunately, some of the overpasses are getting weighted out. And They're being closed, so we can't use that, and it's creating an issue. You can see this here from Banksville, engine 159. That apparatus is probably carrying 1,000 gallons of water.
They're leading up.
You can see they have the extra hose on the side there. Banksville may not have the extensive hydrant network that we have here in the Sound Shore, so they'll more likely draft from a pond, meaning they get close to a pond, a pool, a stream. They get in there. If they can get there then they can pump right to the fire scene. Otherwise, they do what's called a shuttle. They'll draft from that water source, and then a tanker and a series of tankers will run that a couple miles to the fire scene, drop it off in a portable pool, and they'll pump from that portable pool. Again, it's another evolution. We're lucky here in the village. Generally in the Sound Shore, we have hydrants here every 500 feet, which is the gold standard, right? And that's mostly not just for the fire, but that's where your municipal water service is coming from. So when you turn your water on to brush your teeth or wash your hands, that's the same water that's going through the hydrant system. And, you know, back in the day when they started this, they made the right decision to make sure there were hydrants every 500 feet.
Engine 9-6.
I don't know what we have here tonight.
Followed up by Tower Ladder. 42.
Ossining.
2010.
Hold on one second. Oh, he's gone. Ossining Chief had something for me. I missed that car when he came through. Come here. Chief. How you doing? Got Honorary Chief Castorella. How you doing?
Good.
Tell me,
Chief, how are
what
you?
are you working on tonight? What is
I'm
your...
doing rescues and support vehicles, tankers, and chief's cars.
And what are we looking for?
We're looking for everything to look underneath the wheel wells, you know, checking that.
Yeah, you're one of those guys that look under the wheel well, right?
Yeah.
You're a tough guy.
Yeah, tough guy, you know, looking inside the rescues and making sure they are...
How long are you in the department?
I'm in the department 48 years.
Yeah.
I've been with the parade committee exactly 47 years.
And when did you get honorary chief?
I got honorary chief in January this year.
So in the history of the department, I don't think we've ever had that, where first the honorary chiefs are a very, very rare thing. Right? It's a tremendous honor, but Alan's two brothers,
Larry and Craig
are also chiefs, right? Former chiefs. So we'll never have that again. We have three brothers who are the chiefs of the department. So, okay, I won't hold you up from your duty tonight.
And thank you, Chief.
No problem, Chief.
See you later. Thank you for your support and your work.
My personal favorites, Chief. Ossining and Portchester.
Austin and Worcester?
Yeah.
Well, I got Austin down for good breaks.
And Rye, too.
All right.
Okay. So, Chief Primrose here. James Schroeder, his aide. Again, Chief Primrose. His father was a longtime member of Hook and Ladder. Pete's been in the department 40 years. There's probably close to 100 years of service to the village of Mamaroneck, just from that one family. Here's the Rye Fire Department. Hey, Josh. Chief! Chief Bokicchio, a longtime resident. Say hello, Chief. How many years in the fire service?
35.
35 years. Good. Appreciate your service, man. Have a good march, right? I see him. Chief Bokicchio was a Mamaroneck resident. He was on Wagner Avenue also. He moved to Rye many years ago and has been a long-time chief there. I think he's been a chief for 10 years. And, you know, he gets up every night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, goes to calls. One of our most active members there.
Holding up the only Swiftwater rescue team in the entire parade. City of Rye.
Swiftwater.
I saw the vehicle out there.
What?
I saw this vehicle over earlier.
Yeah. Here's the captain from the career department. Hi, Clyde. Thank you. So, you know, one of the unfortunate realities of flooding is that we've had to form a Swiftwater team. And so, you know, Rye is right now in the process of becoming one of the few accredited teams. I know Mamaroneck, we're working on it here. But this is never going away, not in the near future. You know, there's going to have to be some significant
Well,
changes.
I know you helped out in Mamaroneck with that a number of years ago.
I'm through 4 floods here in Mamaroneck, 3 major floods. And, you know, I feel terrible. You know, it's hard to see our fellow residents sustain these losses, and we really have to do something. Something's got to happen, you know, because you just can't keep living with that. Hey, Sal, how's everything? Thank you. Sal, one of the career firefighters, ladder 26. So, you know, with a long delay, Rye is going to wait 4 years for a new ladder. We had to pick that up just to use the apparatus because we need to be ready to go. Broad Channel, Queens, comes up there. Long support have been coming up. Still a volunteer service, but they provide support in the city, even with the largest trained fire department in the world. They still have that volunteer segment there, and I think there's still a couple others. There might be down towards Silver Beach in the Bronx. Might have something there, and I think I can't remember the name of the company in Brooklyn.
Coming up next. Ulster Fire Department. Leading up, Chief Eugene Malone III.
So what else you have planned this weekend? Tell me, as assembly person, how many events this weekend?
This weekend is actually light. Last weekend was very busy, but this
I
week,
see everywhere.
What's
at least
that?
in the area.
Well,
on a good
it's
weekend,
all
what do
good.
you?
It's
10,
all-
15 events?
It's all last Saturday. I think I had 5 events.
On Saturday alone.
Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
good. All good.
That's part of the job, right?
Yeah, I love what I do, and I had 5 events last night, and it's all rewarding. And honestly, I think, you know, I always say to local officials, they should go to every event in their community, because if you go to events, people will come up to you and tell you about issues that you might not hear about otherwise. So it's very important about being a public servant is to be out and accessible, and it helps you do your job better, because you get an idea for legislation, you get an idea for a problem that you would not hear about otherwise, and so. But I like people, so I like to be out there. It's all fun.
Yeah, it's still tough, and you know, I know the community appreciates it, Steve. I do, because you got to hear the bad news too, and you know. That's part of the thing, but a lot of people don't do that. They won't take the time to go out there and try to find that information. So you know, we appreciate it.
We're all about solving problems. That's been your career in your professional life and your volunteer life. You've done it all.
Well,
so
40 years, right? Just about 40 years. Well, if you count my volunteer time, I started here in 1982, and then I was 18 when I started with the fire department, and my buddy Michael Yanuzzi got me an application. I always wanted that, and then, you know, when I signed on with the state was 1986, so I'm going on about 40 years.
Yeah.
So, but it's been good, and I like helping people too.
Well, one thing, and I've said this to you, I appreciate about you is you have both police and fire background, which not too many people have that knowledge in both fields.
Yeah, and it was a good thing. I tell people a lot of my command experience that I got started with the fire service, because when you're pulling up in front of a house and the building's on fire, you really got to make decisions right then and there. And it was great. And so I tell, you know, I have a lot of young women and men that come to me and they say, Cope, I want to be a police officer. What should I do? I say volunteer for the fire department. Get in, start to understand the disciplines of the fire service and a lot of principles, the incident command system, responding to emergencies, taking orders. And so I encourage young people, get involved with the fire service. I hope that they will continue that in the future. But for me, it's been very, very good for my career. And so, you know, I'm glad I did it. You know, I'm getting to a point in life where you just can't do this anymore, right?
The other thing is, people will, a young person might start as a volunteer in a fire department and decide they want to become a professional firefighter. It opens up a career path if they choose to go that route.
Yeah, well, I did too. You know, that was, I don't want to say originally, but I wanted to be a firefighter from a young age.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wanted to be a police officer. I was back and forth, but my primary thought was that I was going to be a firefighter, and I had taken a couple of tests, and I had done well, but I didn't live in the community. And so I couldn't get hired. I got 100 on the test in Yonkers, and I didn't live there, and they had a residence only. And then, you know, I think it was my mother brought me home the application for the troopers. So I took that, and, you know, the rest was history. So
it all worked out well.
It all worked out well. No. It was great. It was a great career with the troopers, and you know, it's funny how things work out. It's funny where 40 years went. So I'm just trying to see who we have coming through here. It gets darker. I can't see. Oh, we're into the 3rd division now.
Engine 173.
New Hyde Park. New Hyde Park. New Chief's truck coming through.
I see Chief Cascarella at times, he puts his finger underneath the bottom of some of these vehicles to see how clean they really are.
Yeah, and some guys will say that's a stickler, but this is a tradition here, and we want to continue that tradition. And like I said, you'll see there were fire companies who during the course of the week were repacking hose, putting new hose on, cleaning the apparatus, because they take pride in that apparatus. And it's good for the firefighters, like I say, it builds camaraderie, but it's good for the community they're coming from. This is a dedication that they're putting into that $1 million apparatus to make sure that it's well maintained, it looks good. So, you know, it's good both ways. It's good.
Well, if you go in a firehouse, having nothing to do with parades, departments make sure the equipment is looking good all the time.
Yep.
You know, you don't go in and I mean, obviously after an event you may see, you know, some smudges on a truck, but generally they look good all the time. That's part of the job.
Yep. And the fire apparatus will get hosed down in the winter after they come back. Generally after rainstorm, they'll always try to hose down, but especially in the winter to keep the road salt and keep the apparatus from rotting down. And so, you know, it's a culture, right? You know, when I first got in, nobody got checked in at the alarm until everybody grabbed the rag and you washed and wiped down the fire truck. We're starting the 4th division right now. Just looking for our chief here. I told him he had to sit with me tonight. You don't want to come. '17 Seagrave tanker, and again, Brewster. That may be 1,500 gallons in there, 1,250. Gallons of water.
So they give you on your background here, do you have the years of each vehicle? Or?
Oh yeah. That tanker's a 2017, you know, 8 years old, looks brand new.
Yeah.
Right, if you look at that apparatus, I don't know if you can see it on the TV, but you look, that's got a coat of wax on it, and it's clean. Right?
2004 Looks like it just came over from Europe.
Hey, Frank Becerra, how's everything? How you been? Oh, it was brutal. 100 degrees. 100 degrees. What? Your brother didn't care. I'm sorry. I apologize, Frank. Don't get me in trouble. Right? I'm sorry. I have a hard enough time staying no trouble myself. We'll try to get Chief Simpson here, who's this Turner River, north part of Stamford, Connecticut, which is a unique situation where they actually have dedicated volunteer department and a dedicated career department in the same city.
Brought up by Chief Tyler Ostrich. Hopefully I didn't jack that up too much. We got a 2007 tanker.
Here's a great example of the tanker, Steve.
Your guys
Right.
relive.
And so, you know, you have in this one, say, I can't imagine, maybe that one might be 3,000 gallons of water, but the pumpers can pump 1,500 gallons a minute. And so 3,000 gallons, that's 2 minutes. So those shuttles have to go very, very quickly.
It's amazing.
We're fortunate here in Mamaroneck with the hydrants. Once you're hooked up to the hydrant can deliver that water for you. If you don't have that, you've got to conduct those shuttles. Chief, can you ask Chief Simpson to please come over for me 1 second, please? So, it's a very different way of firefighting, and it's a much more labor intensive. Where each of our apparatus in Mamaroneck has about 1,000 foot of 5-inch hose, and so you have anywhere 8, 10, some big mains here underground, and we get water supply. We get a lot of water up in these non-hydrant districts. So, Chief Simpson's been hiding me. Mind if I jump in with him for a few minutes? Steve?
Great to see you. I'm going to call you Chief today. So, Mike, always a pleasure.
Steve, I appreciate it.
It's a great tradition. Always love this parade.
Bring it up
All right.
at the end of the
Thanks,
parade.
Steve.
I'd like to thank Trumbull, Connecticut.
Come on real quick. So tell me, Chief, how's your first parade?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful night. We really lucked out with the weather and the temperature, and we got a great turnout.
Yeah, and good turnout on the avenue, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's out and everybody's got their families out. It's a beautiful night.
So, Chief, you're the head chief here for what, 3 months now, 4 months?
Yeah, about since April.
So how do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have the support I have, and we have great men and women serving this village.
So how many things in your life have you had to write off now being the chief with the time commitment?
A lot, actually.
Did you realize, did you know it was going to be that much?
The pager's going off right now, actually.
Yeah, you're going to run out.
Thank you, and have a good night.
Hold on 1 second.
This is part of the job of being a volunteer chief, that you're married to that pager, it goes off, and you'll see all of the volunteers now have to run and go.
So thankfully on a night like tonight, we have rolling crews set up and people covering the village, so we're in good shape.
So, Chief, what do you give them, 20 hours a week at least?
Oh, probably more, honestly.
So the commitment now, I was chief, it was about 20, 25 hours a week. And, that goes on for a whole year. Now we have 2-year terms, so the chief is for 2 years. So the community knows this 20, 25 hours plus
easily,
every week.
Easily.
Right?
We're averaging anywhere from 800 to 1,000 calls per year right now.
Right.
Which is a lot.
Okay. Well, Chief, I know we have a big night, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
Doing a great job. I want to thank LMC-TV for all of your support, that we couldn't do this without you. And again, I want to thank, on behalf of the Mamaroneck all-volunteer fire department, the community, for your support. We hope that you'll come down and support us at the carnival, stop down and have something to eat, and see your friends. Other than that, thank you to your support team, LMC-TV, and have a nice night.
Thank you.